What's up, Proud Radio? This is Talk to Me, and today we've got Genevieve Heyward. Genevieve, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Fantastic. We're back on campus. We're still going at it, even though it's the heat of summer. And I want to say thank you, Genevieve, for joining us while we're deep diving into local artists. And we heard about you and wanted to ask you a couple questions about, just your technique for writing music, what it's like touring, what it's like being an artist from Wisconsin. Interested in all that. So
speaking of touring, you have been on tour recently. How's that been going?
Yes. Touring's good. It's probably the most shows I've done over a stretch of time since COVID happened, really. So I used to do a lot, like before COVID, I used to do a lot of touring. Like I was on the road probably every month. So it's good. It is. It is. I don't know if you can hear that.
I hear it.
I have parakeets, by the way. It is.
Are they snacking on something?
Hold on. I'm gonna put a blanket over their cage. As I was saying, I did a lot of touring before COVID. I mean, I was on the road pretty much every single month, but now I'm working a lot. Okay, I'm actually gonna relocate to a different room in my house. I am so sorry.
That's fine. You can keep talking too.
Okay. This is good. This is the raw.
Give a little tour.
Yeah,
I mean, we're seeing where the magic happens, right?
Is
this the room you do most of your writing in, where you're at now?
If I show you guys what this room, no, this is just where I sleep.
Some people write in their dreams,
Yeah, I mean, honestly, when this is like, I pretty much only sleep in this room, and right now it's a disaster because I am in the process of moving out in like 7 days. Okay, touring. Get back to it. So, I did a lot of touring before COVID, and this is kind of my first time where I am doing like all of my booking. I'm pretty much headlining most of the stuff we're doing, and headlining is like a fancy word, but pretty much like I'm not doing much opening. Where before I was doing a lot of opening gigs, a lot of opening tours. So far it's going really good. I mean, touring in general is not like the easiest thing ever, especially when you don't like have a lot of money or have a tour bus or, I mean, venues, there's a lot of really awesome venues that put you up and feed you, but then there's venues where it's kind of like, you got to figure it out a little bit. So I'm really, I would say it's it's a good learning process. From the beginning, since like 2023 started, I've been learning a lot from kind of doing my own things with it. Very, very DIY touring for sure.
Hey, we're into that.
Yeah.
You just said that the pandemic then was like a big break from your first like stint really touring, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
From what I have seen on like your social media, you actually really adapted to performing from home. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about some of those home performance sessions. I think you still have a couple up online.
Yeah.
Where you're just like doing a stream.
Yeah, I'm debating taking them down, but I don't
know. Was it 2 years you look back on and be like, oh, those were good times?
It might not just be like, I mean, whether the content was great or not, I think it's a great experience and a great experiment that you did. I'm just wondering, do you think that shaped any way how you feel performing or?
Yeah, that's actually really interesting. I mean, I think as an artist, whether you're doing music or whether you're a painter or whether you're even like a content creator, I feel like you're just constantly thinking about a way where you can like keep people entertained, even if that's just online. Like if they're not seeing you in person, there's still a way where they can like keep up with your life and what you're doing. So when all that COVID stuff happened, it was a new way of thinking for me, since I was already like on this, like, okay, I'm going to post on Instagram every day, or now it's TikTok, which I don't understand it at all, but I'm trying to learn TikTok. So when I started doing, I called it the boring basement sessions because I was in my parents' basement. That's where I was located at the time during COVID. And it was also a way for me to kind of like make a little bit of money and try to just make anything. Cause a lot of people would tip for those. But overall, I think it helped me get better at my banter. My stage banter got way better because I literally was talking into a screen, which is
Right.
when you have no one's responding. I mean, people can comment, but if there's anything I got out of it, it was definitely like my banter got really good because I was just saying dumb stuff and people think that's funny for the most part.
Yeah.
The stupider the
I
better.
mean, crowd work, that's pretty impressive. Like, and not a whole lot of artists have that talent where they can just work a crowd. So yeah, props to
Yeah.
you. That's cool.
It's cool to go to a show and get a 2-for-1 music and stand up, you know.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
So
Banter's
recently you have a new single out, All Along. How's it been? Like, so you're touring, did that come out while you were on tour or right before, right after?
Yeah, I released that. I was actually in New Orleans on vacation with my friend Tay, who's another awesome Wisconsin-based female artist. But no, I just kind of picked like the first of the month because I feel like it's always good to release stuff just in the beginning of the month because it feels. I mean, I think like 7 other of my friends all release songs on June 1st. There's just something about that first.
Also like summer, you know, it's kind of a summer song a little bit.
Yeah, yep, that was a big part of it too. And I had been working at the song for quite a while. Like it had been recorded for over a year after I had released it. So I was trying to maneuver like my release process. I recently went and I took down all of my stuff on Spotify. I took down everything. I erased everything I had on YouTube. I mean, I took everything down and I like started.
I noticed it was pretty hard to find some stuff.
Yeah.
I know. It's
but
like
it's exciting though.
Yeah, and I think it's a slow process, but I think it's gonna pay off why I'm doing it, just because I mean, as an artist, you just want to keep reinventing yourself all the time.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what I'm kind of in the process of doing, but I'm reinventing myself when I already have like a good chunk of followers for, I don't know, like in Wisconsin. So it's not like, oh, I'm like 18 again and I can just like do this if I wanted to and change my name or change how I dress or it's hard, but people seem to, I've been getting way more feedback on this single than any music I've ever released. So
seems like it's doing pretty good for your monthly listeners that you have on Spotify. I just saw you posted today or yesterday that it had like over like 1,500 listens on Spotify, which for how long it's been out, that's really impressive.
I'm stoked about it. I mean, it's not a million streams or anything, but it's only been out for like a little over 2 weeks, and that's the most I've ever gotten on a song in general, which is kind of saying a lot. And I also did use Submit Hub, so I got added to a bunch of playlists, which has been like huge. I've probably gotten 500 extra streams just from being on some random playlists. So yeah, the numbers feel very important, and the followers is huge too. I have 800 and something followers, which to me, I'm like, okay, not only are they're not just listening to the song, but now they're like, they want to see like what else I'm going to be putting out this year too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Does this track precede a project going forward, or do you have some idea where it does?
Yeah. Yep. I have. So I went down to Nashville. It's funny how like the song even got recorded. I went down to Nashville. My friend who did sound for a band called Lanco down there. He's like, yeah, my buddy, he's like getting this new studio set up, blah, blah, blah. And he does, this guy I recorded with does a lot of co-writing, a lot of recording, a lot of production. So he kind of took a chance on me a little bit, you know, like a little Wisconsin country bumpkin coming down. And I'm like, I want to be a star, you know? And I don't even think he knew what to expect, but I sat down with him and we were going to talk about making this EP. And he's like, well, why don't you play for me? And I played him a song and he's like, well, you want to start recording? And then in 2 days we had done 5 songs and it was crazy. I was like not expecting to do that at all. I thought we were just like meeting, but so So yeah, I have this chunk of 5 songs and I released the first one and they're all very pop. It's like pop forward, which I love. I love pop music. That's like what I
Mhm.
listen to. Um, so hopefully by the end of this year I'll have the EP out, but my plan is to release a song a month or try to at least do that.
I was gonna say your music um seems a little eclectic. Like I was wondering if you have a hard time branding yourself to people, or like when you want to say when somebody asks like what type of music do you play?
Yeah.
Have you come up with some good way to explain it, or you like let the music do the talking?
Yeah, I realized I submitted for this festival the other day and they had like a where you had to pick a genre and I was like
Mhm.
I don't fit into like any of these cuz it's like it's not fully rock but it's also not
Right.
fully like pop because I feel like those are big umbrella terms but they still have stereotypes hooked on with them,
Yeah.
you know?
Mhm.
Is like
Uh,
singer-songwriter a good term, would
yeah.
you say?
Singer
But
song
even that is like
yeah, it sounds acoustic. When I hear singer songwriter
right.
I think of like some guy in a coffee shop with a guitar,
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
like
know?
right.
plaid shirt.
So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I like made this alter ego of a guy named like Roots that sounds like Ray LaMontagne and sings about how like women are like whiskey. It's that guy. That's what I think of when I think of
What what's
singer songwriter.
when is he dropping an album?
Yeah, what the heck? How long is I
You could do
honestly
some like you could do
don't
some
even
like
know.
MF
It's
Doom
like a
alter ego
right,
type
it's like a
stuff.
David Bowie type deal.
Roots. Yeah, well, okay, so I think like originality with an artist is huge because some of my
Hmm.
biggest influences are David Bowie and Lady Gaga and Miley Cyrus and Mitski and Fiona Apple and Elton John, like the list can just go on. And I feel like a lot of them, in my opinion, I don't think they quite fit a genre. I mean, like they go through their phases. You know, Lady Gaga was at one point pop, or Miley Cyrus is like super rock now or something. But
Mhm.
um, I think that's what makes icons is like you can't really put a label on them. And even like the aesthetic I'm trying to work at with my music is like wearing the weird vintage stuff on stages and like the saying like ridiculous things into the microphone and then the album art even like trying to make it so it's you can't put it in a box but it's still
Mhm.
relatable enough where people want to listen to it and follow it, you know? So
Mhm.
yeah, that is kind of tricky, but at the end of the day, I'm like, I can literally do whatever I want. That's what feels good.
Exactly.
I can like I'm not under any label or any management or any contracts. I can literally do whatever I want, which feels really good.
I think that spirit comes through in your music a little bit. I was just thinking about All Along and how like the chorus is kind of like an anti-chorus thing. You go to like a you play it's over an interesting chord. I was just wondering like when you're thinking about writing a song and the structure of it, does it come to you all at once, or do you develop it over time and things sound good and they fit together, or is it all different sorts of stuff?
Yeah. Writing is weird because I guess when I'm writing, like the whole like what came first, the chicken or the egg, but it's like lyrics or the melody or whatever, that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it goes hand in hand. So usually I'm like figuring out something on piano and I literally will like I'll like sing in tongues kind of until a line sticks. And
Mm,
usually I'm not like, okay, today I'm gonna write about that X and that time he did that thing. You know, usually it's kind
right.
of as I'm writing, I'll finish a song and then I'll play it and I'll be like, oh, okay, it's about that guy. But I didn't know it at the time when I was writing it.
Right.
Um, so I think usually the melody comes first for me. And honestly, we're at this point in music where, and I think maybe it's always been like this, and this is a controversial thing to say, but I don't think lyrics are important like they used to be. I think people want just catchy stuff. They just want something to stick in their head. Obviously, lyrics do mean a lot to me. I don't half-ass lyrics or anything, or half. I don't know
Mhm.
if I could say that word.
We're
Half.
good. We're
Say it three
straight
more
good.
times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Louder.
Let
Ass,
them know.
ass,
Let
ass,
them
ass.
know.
No. But I think I just want to write something that's catchy that sticks with
Mhm.
someone because like I said I mean there's still like the Joni Mitchells and the Bob Dylans and the Neil Youngs that are like coming out of the woodwork today, like newer artists like that. But I feel like that doesn't catch on as much, and it's a little harder to be like lyrically profound today. I think people just want easy. I like people's their attention spans is so short. They just want something easy. They want to play it and be like, okay, this is great right off the bat. This is good, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't want to think
Yeah,
about it.
it's like
It's just
that.
good, you know?
Yeah, it's
Personally,
like that. Oh,
oh, you go ahead, Ben.
okay, I'll go ahead. It's like the Andre 3000 and Hey Ya going, y'all don't want to hear me, you just want to dance.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much it. Yeah.
I mean, that
I
song's
think-
ridiculous.
I think there is, though, in that phenomenon, there's still like a mastery that needs to happen. Like maybe it's not exactly lyrical, but still, like when something's really catchy, to me, it's also usually very unique and very to its own point, where you understand what it is, like the first moment you hear it. And I think that I mean, I guess I'm just going to pay you a compliment if that's all right. I think that
Yeah,
your
go.
voice is a very, you use your voice like an instrument,
Yeah.
and maybe that's what, how it balances out with the lyric stuff or whatever. But I think that that's something that you have going for you that is really nice, because you still get those complexities with what you can perform and play and perform at the same time, like you do. And that's something that's very unique, and I think adds a little edge to what you've got.
Thanks. That I appreciate. I've never had somebody say it like that before. That's cool. Like you use your voice. Like
Our
an
radio's
instrument.
proud to be the first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
proud to be the first.
You're the
Not the
first.
last, I'm sure.
There is also
Wow.
something else we want to be the first to do. In your rollout for All Along, you took a pickle eating challenge.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you're not in the know,
So stupid.
a video was posted of trying to eat as many pickles as you can in 30 seconds, I believe the time limit was. So, and you had a resounding 1.5. Now,
Was it 1.5 pickles?
you can
It was
fact
so
check me
hard.
on
It was-
this.
Yeah, it's just 1.5. It was not-
Well, we weren't very impressed, Genevieve.
I'm not. I wasn't
America,
either. I
you've got an
disappointed
answer
myself.
to America, or
Yeah.
at least Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, especially, I think you were eating Milwaukee brand pickles, if
I
I'm not.
was. Whatever that
mistaken.
iconic one is.
So, I mean, we wanted to attempt to
Oh
take
my
this challenge
God.
on ourselves and make a Genevieve Heyward challenge.
Are you serious?
Pickles. So I got the pickles. He doesn't like pickles, so
So
he was.
I got rid of some unpickled pickles.
We got some unpickled
You
ones.
better eat 3 full cucumbers in 30 seconds. Or I'm
Nah, you-
gonna be really
So-
disappointed.
okay.
How can we
Oh my
measure the
God,
time?
yes.
Do you want to
Should I
sing
go
the
get some
first 30
pickles?
seconds?
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
Do
yeah,
you have
you
some
can do
pickles
that.
too?
Yeah, I do. Should I go get them?
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah,
I
we
can
need to
just
try to
do
beat
like a
this.
timer on my phone.
Okay,
Hold on, wait. I'll be right back. Let me go get them.
all right.
I'm probably gonna win because I only have like the
The pickled
slice.
chips?
I'm probably gonna eat
Interesting.
like 20 of these.
Well, all right, we'll see.
All right. Does anyone have a timer?
Yeah, I can run the timer, and I'll just put your song in post.
See, this is what I'm saying. The stupidest stuff is what sticks with people.
Exactly.
People
This
don't
is gonna
care
be
how
made into a
sincere you are,
reel.
they just
It's gonna
want
get a
dumb
million.
They
shit.
cared about how many pickles you ate.
I'm not. People were like, Genevieve, like, I had 4 people be like, you didn't have to do that for us, girl. Like, that looked painful. And I was like, anything for my fans.
Well, yeah, and we're here with you, you know.
exactly.
You inspired me to
This is like
take the pickle
self-solidarity.
challenge.
Yeah. Oh, see
gonna
that
get
pickles
hydrated,
just
but
smell
happy.
so rancid.
All
You
right,
don't like pickles?
you say one.
I'm sorry to say it.
Psychotic. All right, ready?
Red flag. Yep.
3, 2, 1, go.
It's really hard.
Love to go back and forth about who made the mess on the floor. I'm never wrong and you're always right.
All right, I think I ate 9.
I think I ate like a third of this.
I think I'm up on you by 1 pickle, so
How many did you eat?
2.5.
You got 2.5 in 30 seconds?
My
Let's
God.
go. That's hard. That's
I know you know.
I have so much respect for you now. I had no respect to start. Now I have a lot. Just kidding.
Well, thank you. I'm glad I earned it. I feel like I earned it.
You definitely earned it. That's
I can
a
see-
really difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
No, I could see. I really was sitting there just minutes ago thinking 1.5 pickles is nothing.
I know.
But if you're not careful about how you start, if you go too big on the bite first,
Ooh, that's
You
actually
can't
so
chew
true.
it.
Yeah.
you can't chew it. You're
That's what I-
stuck.
Yeah.
That's what I found with the cucumber.
You found that too?
Yeah. And also now we just have 3 cucumbers because we were
I
way
was gonna say,
overestimating.
why did you buy
ourselves.
so many? You really
Well,
thought at one. You really thought at
Well-
once that he was gonna eat 4 full cucumbers.
I had them weigh it out, and it was only 3 pounds of cucumbers. So that's only 1/10 of a pound of a cucumber per second. So if you think about it like that, it seems kind of doable.
That
In-
yeah,
in theory.
sure. I think that you should blast the audio of us eating the pickles, so it's like ASMR. And it's like
That could just be your next song.
that's it.
Sample this.
Okay, that's a weird fun fact about me. I love watching videos of people eat.
Really?
Like mukbang?
So it's sick.
Is
yeah,
it
like,
mukbang or?
It's a great insider scoop.
yeah, I've never said this in front of people before, and I'm pretty ashamed of it, but I'm literally obsessed with videos of where it's like just their mouths and you can't even see their face and they're just eating.
And it's a
freaking
big
like
chunk of ice.
Is there a certain
don't
like genre of food
I
that you
think it's
tend
yeah,
to go?
it's got to be good food. I'm not into like ice
Oh.
or eating like weird fruits. Like I want it to be like the freaking crab boil and they like put cheese on it and it's so gross, but it
It
looks so good.
Comes out of the shell for like
Yeah.
a mile. Yeah,
Yeah.
I do know these.
Yeah.
I've seen them too.
We've all
Yeah.
seen them. Don't lie.
I'll open up
Untype that comment.
I'll open up my Instagram and it'll just be like, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Pussies.
Yeah, you got to be careful in public.
It's happened so many, like in a waiting room, and
Right.
it's literally, like no warning. It's just like, I'm like, oh, sorry. I'm like,
That's
"Who was that?"
hilarious.
That wasn't me.
I'm hoping this starts like a new trend. Like in about like 5 days after this goes up, we'll see Taylor Swift like
Eating pickles.
eating pickles,
In
see
honor.
how many.
Yeah. That's a Genevieve Heyward pickle challenge. Take it, viewers.
That sounds realistic. That's gonna happen.
Who
Probably.
who can beat 2.5 pickles? I don't know.
Dude, it's literally when I did that challenge, I was in the parking lot of the grocery store. I said to my friend, I said, hey, I think this would be a funny promo thing. Cause once again, I'm trying to get away from like, hey guys, Genevieve Heyward here. Like I have this new song coming out. I've been working on it. Cause I think that whenever I see those, I'm like scroll, swipe, I don't care.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
if I'm like, hey, I'm gonna try to eat these pickles like in a really disgusting way too. I'm just gonna like slobber on them and whatever. People are like, that's great. People are sick in the head, you know that? Really annoys me.
Yeah. And that's the way I like the world, to be honest.
And that's the way I like it.
Um,
I'm right there with them. I'm the sickest one of them all.
Can I ask what type of grocery store? Was it a Piggly Wiggly parking lot? It looked fairly Piggly Wiggly to me.
It was like it's like the off-brand of the Piggly Wiggly of a small. It's called Econo Foods.
Oh, Econo
Okay.
Foods.
Yeah, is that that's a chain, right?
It is, but I think it's a like Midwest chain.
Yeah. My mom just said no from the other room, so
It's
Oh,
not a
okay.
chain.
uh it's a
We
sturgeon
need-
thing. You guys,
we need-
you wouldn't get it, okay?
Us,
You guys
us
just
city
can't
boys.
relate. Right.
Us southeastern Wisconsiners,
Yeah. We do have a Piggly Wiggly.
Wisconsinites. Sorry, I didn't even say it right. Speaking of,
Well, speaking of Wisconsin, let's talk about Norway.
Oh, yeah.
Forgot
how was
about
that? You did a whole EP over there.
I forgot. Yeah. No, Norway was great. That was in 2019. Norway was really awesome.
Mhm.
My drummer at the time from that band I was in, he is born and raised in Norway, so he had a lot of connections over there. So he pretty much set that up up for us. Um,
How'd that
Yeah.
kind of go? Did
It
you go
was-
with songs to record, or did you go spend some time and work with like whoever was there to record what you wanted to record?
Yeah, it was so I had written those songs, and it was one of those things where we had the tour booked, right? And it was like 13 shows, 14 days or 15 days, whatever it was. And then we had my drummer's friend who records music. He's like, how about on like these off days? Well, we have 2 full days and we can record 3 songs, which is honestly psychotic now that I think about it. Like at the time it was no big deal. And I got really sick too on the road. I got this really bad cold. So even when I listen to those recordings now, I'm like, it's not like my voice. I've never felt like was at its peak in that or anything. There is like
Right.
a rawness with it though. But yeah, that was a lot. It was a lot. I remember we had like, I think we had 2 off days, which is, I don't know if I would do that again necessarily. Like I'd want to give myself at least 2
Where did
days
you go? So it was a Europe tour, right?
Yeah, it was mostly Norway. We did 1 day in Sweden, but the rest of it was Norway.
Cool. What kind of venues did you play over there?
We were playing
Anything
all
interesting?
Yeah, we were playing all kinds of different. I mean, we played some like regular old boring, not boring. None of the places we played were boring, but like just
Figure of speech.
regular old venues, like clubs,
Right.
ticketed things. We played like a bookstore that had a stage set up. One of the cooler places we played though was we played a lot of small towns. We did Bergen and Oslo, but I can't pronounce the name of this town, and I don't remember. I think it was Flatdal we played, where it was way up in the mountains, and it was this little. I don't know if it was an old Airbnb, B&B, like a bed and breakfast place, but it was really classic. Like it was super Scandinavian. All the decor in there was really Scandinavian. It was an old building, and it was pretty much the people of this like little town came and partied with us. And it was a real stripped down type thing, but everyone was dancing and getting like really messed up. And they put us up in these really cool old rooms. So that was, and then we woke up and it was, the mountains, and it was snowy, and it was stupidly beautiful. And the hospitality was amazing. And somehow for all the shows, we had like a good crowd at all of them. And that's what's cool about touring in Europe, is I feel like they kind of have a different view. Like people are willing to pay money to go to shows. People are willing to kind of walk into these places, and good treatment too. Really good treatment over there.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Yeah, that sounds like super cool experience.
The opposite of home, though, we need to work on our culture, huh?
Yeah, I have so many feelings about venues in the United States. I mean, I've only done that European tour, so I don't feel like I can really sit here and be an expert in it.
Judge.
But all of my friends that toured Europe are in the same boat, though. I think in the United States, with how we deal with our music venues, especially since COVID happened, I mean, $10 to go see music is literally nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
never. But for some, I mean, you're gonna go and spend more than that on a drink if you're in a city. But for some reason, people see that on a door and they're like, I'm not paying that money to go in there and see music. When in reality, that's like the bare minimum. I don't know if that's a mindset or what it is, but also I've had venues that are like, oh, well, we'll give you 10% off anything on the menu. And I'm like, that's so stupid. Like, I'm just going to go somewhere else then,
Right.
Like, I'm going to go eat at the cheaper pizza place because I'm not going to pay $16 for a salad, So there's that. And then there's the organization of venues. Like I was just saying how festivals can be so chaotic. And I feel like you either get, you show up and there's like the promoters right there, and they're like, there's a beer tent, like there's go to any of the food places, tell me you're a musician, we'll cover it. Like, here's the sound guy, here's your stage setup, here's this, here's your pay. Like everything's just easy and it's done. And then you have the alternate of that, where you show up, no one knows who you are, nobody knows what's going on, you're trying to get answers out of people, and they're just like, looking at you like you're a freaking hobo or something. I
Mhm.
don't know. Like it almost feels like you shouldn't be there sometimes. So I think it's important for venues to, I don't know, work with the artist a little bit and remember that it's like I'm playing a different place every single day. It's so hard to
Mhm.
keep up with all the details, especially doing it myself. And then to
Right.
show up and be like, I think I know what's going on. Do you guys know what's going on? Just having that person, God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope that's kind of the thing we can foster in Milwaukee, and I think is being fostered in Milwaukee is like just a good music scene.
Mm,
Like venues help artists, artists help venues, like
Artists help artists,
exactly, yeah.
yeah.
And I feel like people, I'd be interested on your insight into this, but people in Milwaukee are much more willing to go see a show that's like $10-15. Wondering like your experience of that in Milwaukee, what that is.
Yeah. Milwaukee's a really interesting music scene. I feel like I'm finally breaking into it. It took me years, took me quite a while to kind of get into the Milwaukee scene. But it does feel like, so I work with the agency there called ACA Entertainment, and they're awesome. They're like, there's a lot of musicians who work there, and they've been booking me a lot of Milwaukee stuff like Bastille Days and Summerfest,
Hmm.
and Third Space Brewing does a lot, that kind of stuff. So they're doing a really good job at creating like an indie space, because major cities have a big problem where it's either like you either have to be a huge nationally touring artist, or you're going to be playing like the bars on the side.
Mhm.
Sometimes there's not that in between. So Milwaukee has done a really, really good job the last couple of years creating like spaces for independent artists to play, where it's like I don't have no draw in Milwaukee, but I'm definitely not going to sell 200 tickets, you know.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I think that's huge. And I think Milwaukee also has gotten better at kind of getting that kind of built-in crowd. I honestly hate venues where it's like if not hate such a strong word. I don't hate it, but it's so anxiety provoking when you have a venue where it's like if you don't sell any tickets, you're not going to make any money. No one's going to be there, and that's it. It's just going to suck. I understand that. Like if I can't pull tickets, why would you want to book me?
Mhm.
But to have those places like breweries or festivals or just concert series, like, oh, we're going to have music every Wednesday night, where people don't care who you are. They're just going to go for the music. Milwaukee's
Mhm.
gotten way better at providing those spaces so you can get paid and make tips and meet new people. It's not so impossible to play and sit in a city like that. Yeah, no, I'm very fond of Milwaukee and what it's done with music.
Since we're on the topic a little bit, I was wondering, do you have like a favorite town in Wisconsin to play or visit when you're coming through, or looking for a spot to pick up a show?
Yes. Yeah. Uh oh, that's a good question. Appleton's great. Appleton's always great. They have the Mile of Music going, and there's like 1,000 venues in Appleton. And
Mhm.
I have a lot of really good friends there, and Appleton's easy. I could literally reach out to a handful of people and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna be rolling through. I gotta fill this date," and they'll like have it filled. So Appleton's amazing, amazing with music. Um, I used to play Stevens Point all the time. There's this venue
Mhm.
called the Elbow Room
College
there.
town.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Stevens Point was always really awesome for music. I haven't played there in a while though. Um, Trying to think. There's some like tiny towns outside of Madison that are pretty cool. Western Wisconsin, Eau Claire's cool. I honestly haven't really, I don't even know if I played Eau Claire, but I've been there for shows before, and Eau Claire's kind of cool. Lacrosse was great. We played
Hmm.
lacrosse this past year, and it was freaking awesome.
Nice.
Get some Minnesotans coming to that one.
Yeah, yeah, and we're gonna explore Minnesota this summer too. We have some shows, but yeah, lacrosse was cool. Um, oh, Spring Green, that is the coolest little
I
town
was
in
waiting for you to say
Wisconsin.
it. I was
Spring
waiting for you to say it.
Green, yes, that
I
is
agree.
one of the like that whole driftless vibe, like where the Viroqua.
Mhm.
That's okay. That's my answer. Viroqua, Spring Green, that area, coolest town I think music wise, we played this venue called the Slowpoke Lounge
Mhm.
in January, and Michael, who books it, was like, all right, we could take a chance, like it might not be busy. It was awesome. We sold a ton of tickets.
Oh, great.
It was packed. He put us up. I mean, it's just a weird little like going into the town. There's a weird architecture, and there's a house on the hill or whatever, or rock house on the rock.
Mhm.
That's
Doesn't
my-
it feel like it's like an oasis town? It's like it shouldn't exist where it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And then you're
weird.
there and you're like, what the? Yeah,
The
I like
vibe
it
is
too.
Good vibe there.
We need to get the Wisconsin Dells Super Show going where if there was a Wisconsin Dells festival, would you play?
Yes, okay, and I actually played the Dells, the Showboat Saloon, a while ago, and the Dells is another like, I mean, there's a tourist town for sure.
Right.
I mean, Door County is a tourist town, and there's an okay music scene here. There used to be a festival here called Steel Bridge, and that was like brought all these artists up. But ever since, we don't have like a lot of venues necessarily up here, you know.
Right.
But where was I going with that? What was I talking about? What was I talking about?
The Dells.
Oh, the Dells. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would 100%. If
Duck
the
boat
Dells
ride.
had some big festival, yeah, I would love to do that. Absolutely.
Now, next thing I'm wondering about is you have announced that you have a music video coming out soon.
Yeah.
Can you take us behind like the creative direction of that and what you're hoping to kind of do with that?
Yeah. It's cool. So my parents have a cabin up on Washington Island, which is north. It's way north in Door County. You got to take a ferry to get over there and stuff. So I spent a lot of time up there and played a lot of music up there. And it's just a really special place to me. And I met this guy, Austin, and Maddie at a So Far show in Milwaukee. And he was telling me how he does music videos. And the thing that I love about him is he didn't go to school for it. He's 21 and he's just doing what he thinks looks cool. And he takes chances on shots and stuff. And I loved his resume of music videos. So we hooked it up, and we went up to Washington Island, and pretty much just my parents' place is right on the water. So we have some water shots, and we're in the woods, and there's this cool thing called the Farm Museum. It's real old school, like old buildings and farm equipment. So it's like everything I love in a video and everything that like reflects me. I feel like, because the song doesn't have a story necessarily, it's just a song. So it's just me running around the woods in like weird dresses, and it's great.
Sounds
That's
like
super
fun.
cool. Yeah, from what you've shown of it, I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
And then how about Summerfest, huh?
Yeah, Summerfest. I'm doing a tiny set. It's not even on one of the big stages. It's just an acoustic. Like, I think it's called the ground floor. It's like under a tent. It's not like on the big boy stages, as I like to call them.
Still, those
Yeah.
recently have been getting like hyped up for like things that are better to catch, because sometimes you don't want to see, I don't know who's going to be there, but
Boogie with a hoodie.
yeah, sometimes exactly, you don't want to see Boogie with a hoodie. So walking around and catching something on those small stages is, in my opinion, sometimes a better experience because it's a little bit more intimate, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
I agree. I'm hoping to sell more merch and make tips doing that.
Mhm.
And like you said, it's definitely more intimate. I personally, when I go to Summerfest, I'm not looking, I usually don't watch the big stages just because it feels too much sometimes. That sounds silly. I'm trying to defend the fact that I'm not playing on one of those, I think. But
No, I mean, I totally agree with you. I as an audience member, I think I've enjoyed shows where it's like tiny little venue and you're up in front, like you're right with the artist, and like house shows are super cool.
Yeah, like a basement show.
Yeah, and we've got a bunch of really cool like venues around here that you get right up there, you're with the artist, and I have a lot more memories of that, a lot better memories of that than like seeing like a super
Yeah,
big
being
artist
like,
and like
"Oh,
yeah, the nosebleed seats, and those are still yeah, those are still really cool. But no, I totally agree with you. I think a lot of people would agree with you.
yeah, I've seen some of my favorite sets at like the Tiki stage or whatever, that little one by the water.
Mhm.
I agree. I think and I'm hoping people are walking by, they're just like, oh, what's going on over there, you know? So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great, and
Sweet.
it's on July 1st. I start at 2, so I think it's it's busy. It's Saturday, so
Anything else you really want to plug?
Yeah, plug socials, like upcoming shows. I think
Yeah,
this will be
okay,
out in
I'll
about a
plug.
week, so.
Okay, yeah, I'll plug. So what's happening in a week? So the big news, I'm moving to Nashville at the end
Oh,
of
snap.
the year. Yeehaw! I'm ready. I'm ready for the change. I'm ready to not go through another winter in Wisconsin. Can't do that again.
We're gonna miss
So
you.
yeah, yeah. I plan on coming back for the summers, but I'm gonna
Okay.
Sweet.
and I'll be touring still, but I'm
Right.
excited to get down there. And like the guy who produced my music is down there. His name is Jared. But yeah, so I'm gonna be moving, and this summer I have like so many shows, lots of different opportunities to catch me. A lot of them are in Milwaukee, Madison, um, this way, that way, up, down, Iowa, Minnesota, all those places. So still a lot of that coming up. The new songs will be released. I say you just have to watch my social media. Don't look at my TikTok yet because it's not ready. I'm making the stuff, and then I'm gonna post it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not
Right.
ready
100%.
for viewing yet. You could find me if you want, but
Okay.
but yeah, I feel like I just have so much going on right now. It's hard to like pinpoint one specific thing. Just with like the stresses of moving and trying to push new music and shows, and then I'm also trying to book finishing up booking an East Coast tour in October. So I just say I post pretty much every day on Instagram. So
And what is your Instagram? Just so people know.
it's at Jen Heyward, but it's Jen with a G and it's Hay with an E.
There you go.
I just thought of that.
That was perfect and so succinct.
Wow, I'm a songwriter. But
Hey, when I
You got a natural talent.
when I hear that in a song, we're gonna need some royalties.
yeah, right. Jen with the G, H, Hay with an E. Okay, yeah. Remembering.
Heyward, Hay with the E. I have a question about. I know we just wrapped up, but we could probably add this back in.
No, it's
But I just, like you said, your producer in Nashville. Have you been working with him for a while?
I've actually only met him twice in person. I met him once when he was fixing up his studio, just because one of my best friends, who also kind of plays as a manager sometimes, keeps up with me a lot. He did sound for that band Landco that he's in.
Right.
So I met him once when he was building his studio with my friend, and then after we had met, my friend was like, hey, like she's really trying to make some new music and really wants to find her sound and blah blah blah. So then the second time I met him was I flew down, and we were just supposed to meet, and then we ended up recording for like 18 hours and making the 5 songs. So that was it. I've really but I talked to him on the phone and stuff, and moving down there, he's like, we can make more music, if we want to. And he's like the fastest engineer I've ever witnessed in my life. I mean, it was like, usually you don't want to show anyone's the rough recordings of your song because they sound so bad. He's like, oh, here's the first rough draft. I'm like, this is a rough draft. I'll release this shit tomorrow,
So does he, I suppose then he brings something like that to the table when he's working with you.
Yeah.
Do you find that what he adds enlightens like what you already had? Or
yeah, he's really good. He's got a good ear for what people like, what's gonna like get radio play, that kind of thing. Where the way I write can be, okay, I could bring a song to him and it's got a bajillion chords in it and a weird breakdown in the middle, and he's really good at making it so it's simplified, because like I said, people they want easy. And I think for myself as an artist trying to like get my footing in the world of streaming and radio play and all that, I need my songs to be easy right now, and then I can like break it. The Beatles, they were like, I Want to Hold Your Hand, and then by the time they got their traction, they
play,
could
stand, shout.
Yeah, exactly. By the time they got their traction, though, they could do like Sgt. Pepper's and the White Album and all that weird stuff because they had their footing and their following and their people that love them no matter what. So with him, he's very good at taking my songs and then making them into this like crispy, clean radio pop sound, which I'm like super into. So I'm like, great. So yeah, he's got a great ear for that kind of thing.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're excited to see what's coming up next.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear the next 4 songs.
Yeah, is there anything you want to say about those songs?
Yeah. Keep an eye out. They're gonna be they're great. I'm very proud of it. I've never been so proud of music in my life. I think they sound like what I should sound like in song form. And yeah, I mean, I'll be with my band too this summer. I have a consistent band which I have strived for so long, and I finally have Chris and Greg Rotek and Chris Shear are my freaking guys. I say they're my band members and my therapist because I overshare and they're like good at listening. And they're goofy like me, so I'm just very stoked about everything right now. A little overwhelmed, but stoked. So yeah, keep your eyes and your ears peeled.
We got it.
We will. We definitely will.
Oh
Be
yeah,
sure to
we got like, hey, if anybody wants like,
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll sign that cucumber and then we can auction it off.
oh my god,
All right, we'll hang it up in the studio. It's been a blast.
thank you so much, Genevieve, for coming on.
Wow,
Guys,
nice
remember-
knife block.
Thank you.
That's a whole nice set of cutlery.
It's
Wow.
It's pretty impressive. I'm officially an adult, so I have a nice job. That says a lot. All right.
Remember to go check out Genevieve's music, Spotify. Check the link below. Check the description below. It's right there. It's right there.
It's right there.
All right. It's
right
literally
here.
right there.
It's right there. So check it out. Okay. You're not
Click
gonna-
on Ben.
God, this is gonna make. I
Click
think
on
this
Ben
part
for
is gonna be
this.
so fun.
If you don't
I'm
click
gonna-
on it, you're just a straight up loser, and that's your life now. You're gonna be a
You
loser.
can't even eat a quarter of a cucumber.
I like
in 30
to-
seconds.
You have to put it so that it keeps moving around and they try to click
Yeah,
into a
that's-
different spot. Oh, try to catch it.
You know the TikTok thing where it's like if you skip, you're gonna have bad luck for 7 years.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen if they don't click the link.
Throw one of those real
That
quick.
link, Summerfest is over.
Yeah, Summerfest done. Bastille Day's done. I'm not playing music anymore. I'm done.
Click the link right now if you want to see
Yeah.
Genevieve
or else-
Heyward at Summerfest. Or else.
Boogie with the hoodie will be found out. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, we can't threaten Boogie with the hoodie in the
That's
outro.
true.
Can't
Fair
threaten.
enough. That'll be enough.
All right.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. All right. Here's the, she's gonna freak out. Here, I'll show you. They're Jesus, my life is so messy right now. Come on, guys, look. That's them. They just kind
Cool.
of chill out on this little perch.
This is their favorite spot in the house. Yeah.
they're so
Yep.
cute. They there's
What are their names?
Honey and Kiwi, and they'll fly. Let's see. There they go.
Whoa,
Whoa!
they're quick.